Today, I'm gonna go over with you guys how you guys can also implement this exact same strategy, just like what I did today, to come out green plus 4 risk reward despite I took 3 losses in a row. Let's get straight into the video. So I took trades on ES and gold today during New York session. Let's go over the ES trades first, and then we'll go over later the gold trades, which is the 6 risk reward. I didn't count that towards the 4 risk reward, but these other trades. So ES here, the first trade was basically a textbook sweep, right? We swept London session low, Asia session low using my indicators. We also hit our high time frame draw on liquidity, which was where you would be shorting from right here. I sent this out to the private group chat, but unfortunately, I was not up at 6 a.m., so I could not take the short. So I missed that short opportunity. The only way you could have really taken this would be via limit order. But the longest I took today was just an OB entry model off both session sweeps. I took a -1 here for this, and then we tapped into the 1 hour PY below. So if we go back and replay here real quick, and we go to the 1 hour, so everything looks a lot more clear. You can see we have a 1 hour demand here right below. This is basically 1 hour inducement right here for this 1 hour demand. Now, be aware we did hit a 4 hour, I believe this is 4 hour. This is a 1 hour supply, and this is basically the last 1 hour supply before all-time highs, which is right up here. And so because of that, we can expect a very big move, right? Which is exactly what we did. Now, we won't always get a big move like this. This is honestly more so like speaking probabilities, but the probabilities did play out today, 1 out of 10, where we did get a massive move here off the supply. And unfortunately, the longs did not work out well, which is okay. So I took another long here off the 1 hour, sticking to my strategy system, another loss here. At this point, I was debating honestly on taking stop under internal continuations to the downside, which would have played out for 4 and 5 risk reward. But unfortunately, I did not personally take them. But of course, some people in the group might have taken those to take advantage, because I sent out to the group and I told everyone we were now looking for 4 hour demand. And this is a 4 hour demand here. As you can see, I marked it with a line here as well. And it hit to the tick. We had a nice move here off the 4 hour, as you can see. So you could have definitely took a nice scalp move for sure for like 2 to 3 risk reward here if you want to, off the IFVG entry model right here, presented with the indicators, something like this basically. So I can mark it, show you guys what it looks like. It'll look like something like this, and you can TP at 2 risk reward or 2.7-ish, depending on that, whether or not that hit, which in this case it did not. But I kind of messed up here. This is somewhat of a technical mistake, because I should have waited for another entry model here. In this case, our range is very small here, so probably should have waited for another entry model here on the seconds or something. But I did not. I just had a limit order there, and it did hit me out eventually for a stop loss here in this 4 hour demand. Once I hit stop loss there, I was done chasing price, right? At some point, you just have to accept defeat, and you can't keep on trying to trade reversals. I'm an internal reversal trader. Some of you guys love trading internal continuations, but personally, my bread and butter is trading these reversals with the external time frame in mind, because the external time frame is bullish. We are bullish on the higher time frame. This is just a pullback on the lower time frame to create this bearish 4 hour candle delivery, just to mitigate the 4 hour demand. And then I'm basically expecting price now to go for a pre-stay high and then make new all-time highs soon, right? It might be a few days, but we will be going that direction soon enough. And so that's basically what happened here. And price just had multiple manipulations, as you can see, not just 1 or 2 or 3, but we had multiple. So we had a lot of manipulation here earlier to generate liquidity. We also had a lot of manipulation even within the 4 hour POI. We had manipulation number 1 marked by an indicator here. Manipulation number 2 also marked by my indicator here. As you can see, I'm not drawing any of these line X's. These are all automatically marked via my indicator. It literally drew out every single manipulation leg here. And then finally, my indicator marked that we have a break of structure here. So this is where you would potentially shift your bias to the upside. But I ideally like to take entries down here within this POI. So it would have taken me another loss and then a win here to take this trade here. My entry would be somewhere around here. And then my TP, I'm looking for a far target because this is far demand. So keeping in mind, this is 2:30 p.m. though, so we'll get a bit less volatility in the markets. Hence why I could probably decrease your risk reward here slightly, but still a 9 to 10 risk reward. So it really just depends on, man, how many opportunities you give yourself in terms of your risk tolerance. And this is more so a personal preference thing, because risk tolerance, some people are more willing to risk a lot more of their capital, or not a lot more of their capital, but they're willing to take a lot more losses to get the right directional move, versus others are not willing to do so. So it really does depend, but this would have been basically the play of the day. Again, just off the 4 hour demand here, but we had a few internal sweeps. And then now price eventually should be going for this these 5 minutes and this 30 minute and 1 hour above. Let me just hide that real quick also with the indicators. By the way, if you're wondering what the indicator is, this is my ETU Elite indicator, and essentially with the indicator package for $49 a month, you get access to all of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, all 7 of these indicators. So highly would recommend you guys check it out, man. It's really worth it, and you can gain you can make a lot of money if you use these indicators in alignment with my strategy. I teach you guys in the course. This is a money printer right here. All right, now let's go to gold. So gold, I sent this out at around 11:30 A1, as you can see, to the private trading group, which is included in y'all's course membership. But I said I was looking for a 30-minute expansion on gold, and my target was London session high right here, and eventually price did reach there. But I did get wicked out here by a little tick, unfortunately, and I sent the setup to the group here, as you can see. And then later I did move my TP because I said volume is pretty dead around 12:30ish, right? We started moving very slow, and I decided to just move my TP to this 15-minute right here. So I TP'd here for 2.6 risk reward, my first position. So let me just make it smaller now. If you guys want to see what it looks like on 30-minute here it is. We have a 30-minute demand. We have this break structure here, but this break structure does not mean we're going bearish, guys. Remember, this is a break structure as a retracement to tap into this 30-minute demand. If we did this break, but we still didn't tap into 30-minute demand, then most likely I will be looking for shorts. But because we tapped into this demand already, we already swept even this low here. This is basically a 30-minute stop runner setup. We swept this low here, and we tapped into PY. This is an A+ setup here to take longs. And so as you can see, my first initial long, my stop loss was just a little bit tight. I was aggressive with it. I put it placed below the OB instead of placing at the extreme low. The reason why was because the risk reward is awful at the extreme low. Yes, you will have a higher win rate when you have more conservative stop losses, like the standard stop loss I teach y'all. But I do go aggressive at times because if the risk reward is just awful, I mean, it's just not worth it, right? The only other option you could do is actually be more patient and wait for price to come deeper. But that's also not a guarantee. You might miss the move doing that. So a lot of these things like that is just really personal preference and up to your personal back testing and what you feel comfortable with when you live trade. So this is just my OB entry model. My stop loss here is aggressive. This is considered aggressive, and the reason why is because technically the low, most extreme low, is made down here. Because this is a low that's going to make a new high, which is what I told the Discord, right? We're about to make a new high, looking for a 30-minute expansion on gold. So let me put my stop loss back. That looks so goofy. This is 2.6 risk reward. I TP'd at 15-minute. Yes, ideally, honestly, I could have just TP'd earlier and could have made a lot more money, right? Because there's a lot of money to be made on the short, a lot of money to be made on this long, and you even have manipulation moves you could take shorts off of and then go back pro trend, right? Honestly, once you understand the market and how it moves, it's so easy, man, right? These are just market cycles. This is just manipulation cycles. Or sorry, not manipulation cycles. This is a manipulation cycle right here, but this is just mitigation cycles and expansion, right? Go higher. That's all it is, right? Because at the end of the day, we're going higher. So I'm only really looking for longs. You can take shorts, of course. You know, once I hit my TP, there's a really nice short here. You could have maybe caught like 3 to 4 sword off this short. But again, I like to focus on the higher probability setups where I go pro trend. And hence right here, I took a long here. This one got me stopped out for 1 risk reward. I teach y'all in the course of sauce as to why you actually don't want to take this long here. And you want to take the second one here. And then we did get another internal sweep. So basically 2 internal sweeps. Usually on a POI, you'll just get 1 internal sweep. But in this case, we did get 2 internal sweeps. Now, the thing is, usually I would flip my bias if we do get 2 internal sweeps, as in not flip my bias, but I probably look for us to take out low and then long. But because I was so confident in this mitigation cycle playing out, like there's no way I was going to look for shorts. Like 0 chance I'm looking for expansion to downside here. After we sub liquidity and tap to a 30-minute demand and we have a massive PY on the left, there's no reason for me to go short. I can't see any reason to validify why the market would even go short after we already generated all this liquidity here. We probably stopped out a good amount of people in between, both sellers and buyers. And there's just no reason, man. So I entered this here for 7.8 risk reward, and absolutely insane. You never would have expected the market to give you so much volatility and volume at 3:30 p.m., but it ultimately did. And yeah, we just completely pushed through. Not much to say here. My target here, actually, I targeted New York session high because this is very late in the day. But looking back, honestly, I should have just stuck to my original bias because I would have made 4 more risk rewards. So almost about like a 50% increase than my original TP. Again, I don't take partials, guys. So all the trades you guys see me take right here, I'm holding the entire full position towards the TP or stop loss or break even. I'm usually not partialing ever in my trades. Partialing messes up your risk reward over the long run. I truly believe if you are very confident in your strategy system and your strategy is able to read the market like a textbook, like how I trade mine, you should be holding full position to your targets. But yeah, again, this is a mistake on my end. I should have been targeting my London session high that I was really looking for. Why? Because even if we did take on your session high here, there's no way I'm shorting this. If there's no way I'm shorting this, I should be holding my position to go for London session high, because I know there's people probably gonna be shorting this right here and they're gonna hit stop loss. So you can see later on, we absolutely ran. It was a monster risk trade, man. Absolutely ran here. But if we look down later in Asia session, just right now, here's what's going on in Asia session. We tapped in this PY here after taking a previous day high. We're bullish, right? So if we go in the higher time frame, I drew this out earlier to everyone, but we have liquidity up here. And I don't know what just happened there. For some reason, deleted something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have highs right here. These highs are all going to get ran plus this high here. And I think this is all-time highs too on gold. Absolutely insane, guys. Remember, follow the trend, man. Follow the trend. So I was doing the whole day, following the trend. And you can see we made this massive candle here. Honestly, I tend to just ignore these. There's not anything unmitigated here, basically, so I can't do much there. I'm looking for other new structure. Likely, usually when we get like big wicks like this, we tend to create new structure that you should be trading off of instead of focusing too much on that wick. Because yes, technically at some point, this is a weak high that's going to get ran. You just don't know what true move will be the bottom before we make this future breaking structure. So we'll just draw this as a draw on liquidity right here. At some point, we'll go for that. And then this was a trade I took during Asia session. So usually I tend to wait for a kill zone, but this setup was too clean to miss out on. We tapped into this PY right here. Nice, we had a move, but guess what? All this move did here was just take out basically, there's not really inducement here, to be honest. You can count kind of these two highs here as inducement. That's about it. Because the only other PY in this leg is this up here. So we had a nice move here, and then I was basically waiting for the retracement back down, right, to get another setup. So we came back down here. You could have had your limit here if you wanted to. Me personally, I waited for more confirmation here. We had a nice sell to buy being created, and we tapped into a sell to buy here. I entered off this candle right here. So this other one right above right there. This is my second entry. Remember, I tell you guys the second and first OBs. I usually like to take the second one, or the second one formed. That makes more sense. And my stop loss, I use more aggressive. Conservative will be down here for forward sword. I was fine making a 50% increase to my position, taking advantage of that. And so this was a 6 risk reward. My target was this buy to sell right here. You can also mark this whole entire candle if you like, but that was my target there. And look at that clean, precise entry. I'm telling you guys what I teach y'all in the course. Whether you're in the course right now or you're not yet, you gotta learn, because this is life-changing information right here. Life-changing sauce I'm getting out to you guys. Part of it free on YouTube. So if you really want to lock in and fully understand my entire system, if you're confused about any of these concepts I'm talking about, get the course and your life will change. I promise you. But you can see we had another setup after sweeping inducement here to then go even further higher. But I did not take that. I was satisfied with this 6 risk reward, and I would personally probably not be shorting this anyway. This is counter trend, so probably not a trade I would have taken, but I do see there is a setup you could have taken with my entry models to go long here. And like I said, this wick is very unnatural. It's not like a normal wick. This is open, I believe, right? 6. No, sorry, this is not open. This is a few minutes after opening. So it's not the opening candle. Usually the opening candle will be like the gap being made. But you can see, yeah, we ignored this candle for now. So if you were to long here, you wouldn't be holding your trade necessarily up to this. You'd be holding for the new structure, right? Because we can always sweep and then go higher. So that's why you got to be careful with the targets. You want to maximize the most out of your trades, but make sure they're still realistic targets. Like, for example, on ES, when I was targeting, what's it called? Like, for example, this was a swing position that I sent out to the group. Unfortunately, it did wick us out before it later going for 24 risk reward, because this was my initial position sent out to the group for 21 risk reward. And you can see, like, this is when you can hold, because we had a clear imbalance at upside. Like, look at this, guys. We had a clear imbalance to fill here. this is a no-brainer to hold your whole position towards this POI. Unless you see another POI in another time frame. The only other time frame I saw a POI was the 15-minute. So I did tell people in the group, if you want TP at the 15-minute above here, you could have also TP there. Otherwise, go for the 4 hour, which is what I marked out. Or sorry, 1 hour. And it literally hits your tick. You could have even had a limit order here, and you could have rode this baby down. And now we're coming back up. So hope you guys do enjoy today's recap, man. If you guys want more of these, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Okay, leave a like and share with your friends. The more support I get on the channel, the more free content I'll provide, more free sauce and more free content I'll provide to you guys here on the YouTube. Hope to see you guys in the next trade and in the free Discord. If you're interested again in learning how I trade, join a course in mentorship. See y'all in there. Peace.